I'm about to lose control. Miami nights, where we live for the turn up. Miami nights.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to go ahead and do a video way off topic. This one have nothing to do with my previous topics on dating, relationships, and self-improvement, but I have been getting questions about my other business venture that I was doing before I started the Lisa Louie Show, and this is an online boutique. I do have an online store that I've been doing for about 2 years now, and I get questions all the time on vendors and how do I start and what do I do and what do I need and where do I go. So I'm going to go ahead and make this video for my ladies and or men that want to start an online store, clothing, accessories, and whatnot. First off, I just wanted to start to say it takes money to make money. So if you're not willing to invest, I would say around about, let's say $1,000 to start your online boutique, it's probably not going to go according to how you want it at the pace that you really want it. So first ask yourself, is this really what I want to do? And I'm going to go ahead and walk you through everything. First question that you want to ask yourself is, what do I really want to do? Do I really just want to make extra money on the side off of this? Or do I really want to go full-fledged and turn this into $1 million business? Or do I just want this company or this business venture to pay the bills? So you really have to like set a goal and set your expectations on what you want to do. That way you know how much you need to invest into it and how much time you need to put into it also. One of the decisions that you need to make up front is like, do I want to have business cards? Do I want to have a website? Do I just want to sell online, or do I want a physical store eventually? Or do I just want to sell on social media? So all of these things you need to really think about and take into account what it's going to cost, the time it's going to take, and what you really have to build to get it. Now, there are two different aspects when it comes to running an online only store. You can do drop shipping. I really don't like drop shipping because you really don't know what the packaging will be like when it gets to the customer, and drop shipping items one by one normally comes from China, and it takes longer and it's more of a hassle on returns also. But that is only if you are planning on using overseas vendors. I'm going to focus specifically more on US based vendors because those are the vendors that I use as of right now, and for a much longer time because it's faster, you know the material, it's easier to return if you're not satisfied, and I can really get there easily if I need to. Another thing to take into consideration when dealing with the US based vendors that I have found that I'm using is that when you order with them, you have to order like packs of 3 or 6 at a time. So that's another thing to take into consideration. Now, one of the number one questions that I do get people asking me is like, sell me a vendor, sell me a vendor, sell me a vendor. Well, it's not just that simple, because if you don't have the proper paperwork or documents, they're not going to even let you sign up with them, because you have to provide a copy of your ID, sales tax, or articles of organization before they even let you set up an account to start ordering from them. So it's not just that simple, especially with US based vendors. So instead of me just selling a name or a website to someone, I make sure I tell them these things first, because I like to be fair. I'm not just going to take your money. So I put all the vendors together on one list. The link to it will be in the description, or you could just go to my website, www.lisalouie.com, and purchase. If you would like to send a cash app for that, my cash tag is $Lisa Louie. That's LISALOUIIE, and I'll go ahead and email that to you. Just put in the note box vendor list. And I know there's a lot of criticism behind people selling vendors or vendor lists, but I myself personally have flown around the country to find these vendors and to check out the material, because if it were easy and simple to find them and to actually get good ones, nobody would be asking for them. You just be going to do it yourself. Now, the vendor list that I have is mainly going to be women's clothing. I do have a couple like men's vendors, and maybe accessories might be on there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description on where you go online to get your sales tax certificate, and where you also can go and apply for your articles of organization here in the state of Georgia. That requires you to go to your own state website. Depending on what state you live in, you just go to your Secretary of State website. Now, a business license, it's only good for the county that you live in. I think it's about $100 to $150. That lets you own and operate any business just in the county that you live in. The Articles of Organization certificate is good for the entire state. And of course, your license and patent is good for the whole world, basically. Once you apply for these documents on the website, it will take a couple weeks depending on the COVID-19 pandemic situation. It may take a little longer, but normally it'll take a few weeks to come in the mail after you've applied and paid for them online. Here is what your tax certificate normally will look like. And here's the initial certificate of organization or articles of organization for the state. Now, I want you guys to try to come up with a business name and stick to it, because it is very much easier when you have the same name on all of your documents, your website, your Google, your social media, your articles of organization, your sales tax information, all of the accounts that you have to set up with each individual vendor. It's best that every name is the same all across the board. This just makes it easier for people to find you. Now, deciding on a website can be like a little tough, but it could be a little easy depending on what you want. They do have places like Wix, GoDaddy, Weebly, things of that nature, where you can pay either monthly or you can pay yearly, or you can just pay for free to just post pictures, but you can't really sell anything. So that's something that you would have to decide on as well. Your website is very tedious work when it comes to adding and removing prices and keeping items updated and paying attention to the sizes that are selling and what you're shipping and what's being returned. Is very tedious work, and it takes lots of time. Of course, business cards are like the most easiest things. I think they're like $10-15 for like a pack of 250 starting off. That's so easy, so simple. Put your website on there, your social media, your logo, your phone number, piece of cake. Now, when it comes to marketing and promoting your online store or your items or your boutique or whatever you call it, you do really have to decide, first of all, who you're selling to. You have to decide who you're selling to and what kind of items that they like. And sometimes you just do have to do like a test run to see like, okay, what items do they like? What items do they don't like? You pay attention to people, body figures. Just pay attention to the demographic of people that you're ordering for, so you know what to order, what's selling and what's not. One thing that I did find that did help me was running promotions on social media. That also costs just a couple dollars a day, but it really did help my sales go up. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. I would say also, when it comes down to marketing and promoting, is consistently posting every single day, even like 2-3 times a day. I tend to always sell out of things that I wear personally myself, like really fast. Like, customers love that because they see how it fits. They know the material is good. They can see where it stretches. They can see how it hangs off, or they can see the exact coloring. Also, I've come to learn is like, people really like nice pictures. So if you can't take the pictures in the clothing yourself, try to get like a really good background or just really good pictures somehow in a studio, or I don't know, wherever you want to take them. Just make sure they're clear. Just make sure the items are not wrinkled. People tend to really be more attracted to an item when the picture looks better. And having certain extra touches on your items, your company, your store, or whatever, really does help the customer be more comfortable with shopping with you. Having things like your own special customized tags or labels or bags or things like that just lets them know, okay, she's professional, she's serious about her business, you know, she can be trusted. Things like that really does make a difference. I have my own personalized labels that I stitch into my clothing so people can remember where they got the items from. I don't have any bags or tags just of yet, because I do ship a lot, so it really doesn't make me a difference. So just focus more on what it is you're doing. If you're shipping more, of course, maybe try to get some little special packaging or tissue paper. If you are doing more in-person sales, I would say try to get some type of personalized bag. Another thing when selling you need to take into consideration is shipping costs. Do you want to incorporate incorporate that into your prices and just mark it like free shipping? Or do you want to go ahead and set your prices on your clothing and let the shipping fluctuate depending on where the customer lives, or just have a set shipping cost across the board? So it all depends, but these are definitely things you need to come up with before you plan on launching your boutique, because the customer needs to know these things like right off the bat. Try not to pay attention to your competition prices, because at the end of the day, it's still your brand, it's still your store, and you can make your prices whatever you want. Just try to focus more on branding yourself instead of trying to compete. Having a boutique is a process. Do not expect it to happen just miraculously overnight. It takes time, it takes hard work, it takes dedication. I say give it about 2 years before you start to reevaluate changing things up, because it takes that time to learn the seasons, and it takes that time to learn what people like throughout the winter, the spring, the summer, the fall, what's hot, what sizes you're selling. It takes time. So just make sure you're ready to keep up with the demand. Stay focused. Keep at it every day. Be consistent. You'll do just fine. So be patient. Like I said, try your best to promote yourself any and everywhere you go at all times. All right, and that just about wraps it up, you guys. I'll see you next time on the Lisa Louie Show. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you can leave a comment, share this video, like this video if you know someone that needs to see it, or someone that's wanting to start a boutique. You can follow all of my other social media platforms at Lisa Louie. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of that at Lisa Louie.
Whipping about to lose control. Miami nights, where we live for the turn up. Miami nights, after the sun.